Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. I thought it would be fun to sit down and do a back to school makeup routine. I cannot even believe that we're right there at that back to school season already. It's wild to think about how time just has flown by so quickly this summer. It feels like just last month the kids got out of school and now they're headed back to school. I've done some back to school shopping for clothes, got their backpacks, all of their things, new shoes, everything. So it's just becoming a lot more real that back to school is right around the corner. And with that comes changes with our routine day to day, waking up early, going to bed earlier, and just having a more streamlined process. And that also includes my beauty routine. I don't want to not do makeup because it's back to school or I have to get up early to get the kids ready for school. I want to be able to still put myself together. And if I have to get up, let's say 10, 15, 20 minutes early to be able to do that, pull myself together and just feel like my best self is being put forward, I think it's well worth waking up early. I wanted to do this with affordable products from the drugstore that you can easily pick up. When you go to Walmart, Target, if you go CVS, Walgreens, you're going to find these brands and these products. If you're going back to school shopping, you can swing by the beauty section and pick up some of these items that you're interested in trying as well and try them out for yourself. So I pulled some of my favorite products and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way. And that goes without saying that the time of this video is going to be a little longer because we're talking in depth about product. But if I'm sitting down without filming, just getting ready, this is not going to take me as long as this video. But because I'm talking you through the products, the formulas, what I like about it, giving you some helpful tips along the way, it's going to take up a little bit more time. So if that sounds good, take out all your makeup goodies, let's get ready together, let's chat, and let's get this back to school look going. I'm going to start off with some primer. This is the L'Oreal Prime Lab, the 24-hour pore minimizing primer. This actually helps blur pores and makes my skin look nice and even and more matte. And I want a primer that's going to help with oil control, especially in this T-zone, because if I'm doing my makeup early in the morning before the kids wake up and I'm not taking this off until everyone goes to bed at the end of the day, I need something that's going to keep my makeup on, help control those oils, especially since we're still in those very warm months. And with this back to school season, I want to keep things pretty simple and easy. I want to keep the layers minimal. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing a lot of product on my skin or where it looks like it's an entirely full face of makeup where it's heavy. We're going to do a full face. I'm not skipping any parts of my routine, but I'm going to show you the types of products that I would do for something very quick. And with that in mind, I thought about skin tints and using something that's a little bit lighter, but something with some coverage. I don't want to put something on that looks like I did nothing because I might as well do nothing, right? So the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence with the sort of hydrating serum and the beads that are suspended, I think will be the right product for me. I feel like it's going to be one that gives me some coverage, has some skincare benefits, a little bit of hydration, but it's not as full coverage as a foundation, and it doesn't feel like foundation. So that's why I chose it for today's video. And I'm going to start with probably close to a pump's worth of product. And I'm going to use the Ultimate Blending Brush from e.l.f. It's one that's like a synthetic, kind of somewhat of a flat top. It's got a little bit of a rounded side on the edges, which I think is good for helping this product kind of buff into the skin. And those more densely packed bristles is really going to spread this product out. And then I'm going to take my beauty sponge that's slightly dampened and I'm going to continue blending this in. I'm going to push this into the skin a little bit with a little bit better blend. I normally like using my damp sponge, but sometimes I feel like with skin tints, especially this one that has a little bit more hydration, using the sponge makes it a little bit more dewy as the day progresses versus using a brush. I don't know if it's just in my head, but I like to start with a brush first and then use that sponge to make sure that everything is blended, especially right around the nose and down by the jawline. Next up, for a little bit of concealer, I'm going to use the Maybelline Eraser Concealers. I have the corrector, which is that pink shade, and the brightener, number 160, and then the concealer is the shade number 110. I don't remember what the name of this color is. It just has a number. So I'm going to do the pink one first. And the reason why I'm choosing a brightener is because I have darker circles. Like if you can see here when I angled my head, you can see a little bit, and it's definitely going to be something that's more noticeable in those early stages of back to school when you're waking up really early for the first time in a long time. It's going to be visible that you didn't sleep enough under the eyes. Like you can see everything. When you don't sleep well, when you're not hydrated, when you're not eating well, it shows up on your eyes. So I'm going to blend in the brightener first. And then I'm going to follow that with the concealer. Do a little bit of that, just light little taps. I use the applicator to tap on the product like this, but I always use a sponge or brush to blend it in. I don't like the applicator for blending purposes, but just to get the product applied, it's fine. It's a nice concealer with some coverage. It's not an entirely full coverage concealer. I would say it's more of a light to medium. And I feel like it also blends in and looks very skin-like, and you can't really tell. So I like using this pretty much anytime I want something a little bit lighter, a little bit less. I do have a lot of full coverage concealers, and I'm going for something that's just more polished and even. I'm not trying to do something so full coverage. I have a blemish on my chin. I've got some scars, some sunspots, and you can still see that. I'm just more kind of aiming to make the skin look a little bit more even and just have a more polished look in the end. And it'll all come together eventually as I continue to add product. Whatever's left on my sponge, I will cover that blemish because that does look a little bit red. I do need to set my under eyes so that this product does not crease, and I also want to prevent the oil from breaking through as the day progresses here in the larger like pore zone, over the nose, basically that T-zone area. And I want to choose a powder that's really good at keeping everything locked into place, blurred, smooth. And for me, that's the Maybelline Fit Me. I like to use it with a powder puff. You can get these on Amazon. This one specifically is Sonia Kashuk. I got it at Target about, I think it was like 2 months ago. It's a new product. So when you go to Target, I will link it if it's in stock, but if you go to Target, check the Sonia Kashuk section. It's a 2-pack, comes in a gray and black one, and it's around $5, I believe. And this is going to blur the concealer meeting into the foundation. It's going to blur the pores, make them look less visible and minimized. And it's going to keep my oils from breaking this down. As I said before, I'm doing this in the morning and I'm taking this off late at night after everybody goes to bed. I'm the last one to go to sleep in this house. So this cannot budge and move. Let's talk brows, my least favorite part of my routine. And I say that all the time because it's true. I do not like doing my brows hardly ever, but it's something that I have to do. This is what I'm working with naturally, and it looks kind of sparse, thin here. I've got some gaps. They're just wonky. They have a mind of their own. They never listen and cooperate. And so I do need to fill them in and need to work with some products. So what I've been doing lately is using my Maybelline Build-A-Brow pen. I love this. I've done this on its own for a more natural, like super natural look, for at least for me, because I do like a bolder, more filled in brow. And I love this pen, and the writing on mine looks horrible. Like it's just coming off. You see that? It does not look good. The other brow gels that I have in my hand, the You've Got Brows from Pretty Smart. I recently discovered this. It's a brand at Walmart. This is some seriously tinted, like intense brow gel with color. As far as the hold, it's not the best, but the color, I use this and that's all I need, which is shocking because typically I use brow gels that are tinted, and then I have to go in with a pen to fill in some little spots. With that one from Pretty Smart, I don't have to do that. So that's the one that I probably will use the most this upcoming back to school season. But the other ones that I have been using a lot are from the Maybelline. This is the Express Brow. This is a tinted one. The shade that I was using before is medium brown, and mine was, this is probably at least a year old at this point. It's starting to feel like it's drying out a bit. So I went to Target and I picked up the soft brown shade, which I haven't even tested out. So I want to test this little theory. So this is going to eat up some time here, but I want to try the softer shade. So soft brown comes before the medium brown that I've been using. So I want to try this and see what the tone of this is like. Fill this in. Use this to kind of pinpoint any little specific spots, but I'm not really aiming to do a perfected brow because I don't have time for that in the morning. All right, so that's the soft brown. Actually, it does look pretty good. I do have some little spots here that are missing a little hair, so I'm going to use my Build-A-Brow, also from Maybelline, and I'm going to just get those specific spots there. And then right up top here, I'm missing a little area here. The last step for my brow routine is to use a setting gel that's going to keep them in place. The Maybelline Build-A-Brow includes a gel, but it is very light, like extremely lightweight, so it doesn't really hold for me. I like a stronger hold, so I'm going to use one from CoverGirl. This is their Clean Fresh Brow. It's one of their newer products from the last couple of months, and it's a brow enhancing gel wax. And it comes out with a tiny little spoolie. It looks clear. And I'm going to use this to set my brows and keep them in place. I do really like this product from CoverGirl, and I also like the pencils that match that light pink packaging. And because my brows take quite a bit of time, I do take my time. I don't try to zip through it because I can easily mess it up and then I'm going to end up scaring the kids at the school, okay? Nobody wants to be scared by some crazy wild brows and this crazy lady walking in the building. So I do take my time and I have to cut out some extra steps, extra products. So for me, what helps streamline the process is face palettes. I have several from high-end brands that I use on a regular basis every weekend, every time I'm going out, because I have 4 kids and it helps me get ready quickly. I have a new one from the drugstore. It's from the Pretty Smart line that's available at Walmart. This is the all-in-one face palette. This specific configuration that I'm showing you here has a setting powder, a bronzer, and a blush. So I'm going to use the bronzer and blush today. And this is going to start coming together as I add this bronzer because I am looking pretty pale with that CoverGirl product. I'm going to use bronzer to match more of the goldeny vibes that I've got going on. And in case you're new here, none of my foundations and concealers match my tan, so I have to mix bronzing drops into them. I have to use a lot of bronzer because I'm not about to go out and buy all of my favorite things in the right shade because that would cost me a lot of money. So I'm just going to use bronzer, bronzing drops, and just make it work. So I'm going to hop into the blush that's in this palette with an angled blush brush from e.l.f. Another place where I like to streamline the process and cut out some extra steps that help me save time is when it comes to eyeshadows. I love eyeshadow and there will not be a day where I go without eyeshadow. If I'm doing my makeup, I'm wearing something on my eyes besides mascara. And for me, the easiest answer to that is a one and done. I've talked about loving one and done eyeshadows a lot on this channel. I even did a video, the one and done, months ago, sharing with you my favorite products, swatches, some tips, what to look for, the types of tones that work for that one and done look, the ideal kind of color and depth to look for so that it actually looks like you're wearing multiple shades when you're really only doing one color. I've got several. I have tons of shadow sticks, both high-end and drugstore. I absolutely enjoy so much the new ones from L'Oreal and the Clean Eye ones, the Clean Eye colors from CoverGirl are pretty good. Milani's are good, but they're not my favorite. I choose these two, L'Oreal and CoverGirl, over Milani. But those are some drugstore options for shadow sticks that are really good. And you can also do liquid shadows. These little tiny ones from e.l.f., they're metallic, so they give you a little bit of dimension, some shimmer. Some of them have glitter in it. If you like wearing glitter every day, that's a beautiful thing to put onto the eyes. Quick sweep of it and you're out the door. Cream shadows as well. There's so many options out there. You can choose the different formulas, or you can do powder eyeshadows, a one and done that way, or use a full palette and do a full look. That's totally up to you. But for me personally, I need to find ways to kind of cut down some time, and I don't have a lot of time to use 4, 5, 6 different shades to create a look, especially if I'm just doing a pickup or drop off at school, after school activities, you know, going to the school for whatever reason. I don't need to be going in with full on smoky eye or an elaborate eye look. Nobody really cares, okay? It's just mostly for me to feel better and more put together, more polished, and just to look more presentable, honestly. This one from CoverGirl, the Bronze Glow, I'm going to swatch them for you so you can see both of them. I can get the cap off. This one from CoverGirl is a little bit softer, a little bit brighter. So that's the CoverGirl one in Bronze Glow. You see it's a little bit lighter. And the L'Oreal one has a little bit of depth to it. It's not over the top and it's really pretty. So this is L'Oreal and then CoverGirl. And let me show you the other one from CoverGirl. This one is the French Violet. I think I used this in a video recently. This is pretty. This one has a little bit more of a kind of purpley tone to it. It's really, really nice. There you go. That's that French Violet. Again, gives you some color and some dimension. It's not over the top. It's not too light. It's not too dark. Perfect sort of like mid-tone type shades. Nothing too deep and nothing super light like a highlighter, because you might as well just put highlight all over your eyes. And let me show you this liquid shadow from e.l.f. These are the liquid metallic shadows, and I cannot see, the names are so small. e.l.f., can you please change that? It's called Moon, by the way. And that's what it looks like. It's got a little bit of some bronziness to it, but it's got more pink to it as well. So it's a little bit lighter. But when the light hits it, it changes the way it looks. And that's another thing that you want to look for when it comes to the one and done. look for a shadow that can look differently when you put it in your crease versus on the lid, because that's what's going to make it look like there's more than one color going on the eye. I'm going to show you how easy this is for the one and done with a shadow stick. So I've got my eyeshadow primer already ready to go, and my lids are set and prepped, so I don't have to worry about this creasing. So I go straight in with the shadow stick, and I start really close at the root of my lash, and I just scribble this like a crayon right over my entire lid from inner corner to outer corner. I go immediately in with my finger, or if I'm using a brush, use a brush. And I start tapping and blending this shadow. I'm not bringing it too high up towards the brow bone because this does have some pigment to it. I don't want to go past where I can feel my actual brow bone itself. I want to keep it there and towards the lash line. So pretty low. As simple as that. And literally it takes, what, 5 seconds to do this in the morning? So I have really no excuse not to do eyeshadow. I'm going to use some of this on my lower lashes, so I'm going to take that and directly apply it to the lash line, and then immediately go in with my finger to blend and soften the edge. The final thing is mascara. Liner is something that I tend to do a lot. I don't really skip it that often. It's an optional step. I will show you some of the ones that I like to use. The Maybelline tattoo liners are pretty good. They're very similar to some higher end ones that I own and love. These are really good from the drugstore, and the Color Stay automatic ones from Revlon are really good as well. I have a couple shades. I'm going to show you the Revlon. This is the black brown. I'm going to tightline with this, and I do think that this little extra step really makes a big difference in creating a thicker, more fuller lash line. So taking that automatic pencil, I'm going to tightline really quickly at the base of my lashes on my actual waterline. As I said, liner is something that's optional. If you wanted to do liner, by all means, go for it. This liner from Revlon has a little silicone smudgy tip at the end. So I'm going to use a little bit of this to get really close to the root of my lash. And I'm just doing little dotted lines like so. And then I'm going to turn the pencil around and use that smudger and just smudge that really quickly so that it's not an obvious line. And it's going to make the lash line look thicker and give a little bit more depth and kind of smokiness right there, but it's not an obvious line of liner. Now, if you like that look, go for it, but I want it to be soft and diffused, almost like there's nothing there. The last step for this makeup look for the eyes is mascara. That's not something that I'm going to skip ever, 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 ever. Mascara is the final touch. If you do anything for your eyes, put on a good layer of mascara and it makes all the difference. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Panorama. If you're someone that gets raccoon eyes, smudges, or regular traditional mascaras don't work for you for whatever reason, if it smudges up on the upper crease area, if it smudges or flakes or migrates, whatever the issue is with regular formulas, I would recommend that you try a tubing formula. The tubing technology coats the lashes in little tubes and it doesn't come off, and when it does, it's little kind of rubbery bits that come off and like little tiny little specks, and you don't get staining, you don't get that black ink running down your eyes, you don't get the raccoon eyes, and they easily remove with just some warm soapy water. The one that I would recommend is the e.l.f. Lash Xtndr. This is by far the best tubing formula that I have tried from the drugstore. Hands down, there's nothing out there that's better than this. Next up is a lip combo for the day, just to finish this look and tie everything together. Keeping in mind longevity and needing something that's going to stay on for a little bit longer, I kind of keep that in mind when I'm selecting my lip liners. And for me, I have thoroughly enjoyed the Maybelline Lifter liners. These will stay on for hours and they fade so beautifully and I don't have to worry about it. My biggest tip here when it comes to lip liner is to choose something that matches your natural lip color, a your lips but better type of shade. I think everyone should own one of those regardless in your collection, because it's something that is going to transform the look of your lips. It's going to bring the definition back, especially if you have foundation on them. Or I personally have noticed as I've gotten older that my lip line is fading a little bit, and that tends to happen as we get older. It's a normal thing. And having something that matches makes the lines a little bit more crisp, gives me the shape and definition that I'm looking for. And if you like to overline, it makes it less obvious as well. So I do think it's super important to have something that matches. So in the lifter liner from Maybelline, the line leader is that for me. So I'm going to use that, but I also wanted to show you some other products. These are more of a stain type of deal. So the Color Fetish Hydrating Lip Stains from Milani are very unique. They're hydrating and they also have a glossy finish, but they also have a staining effect to it. So it's very different, very unique at the drugstore. I have a few shades. I just pulled this one that's the Rose Rising. It's a pretty mauve shade with some depth. So you can put some type of lip stain on over a lip liner and dab it off and then put a gloss or a balm. And that's going to wear well for a long, long time. This next product is actually a stain, but it's a lip oil. It's a color changing, like a pH adjusting type of product. The Catrice Tinted Lip Oil. I recently discovered this when I did the one brand for this line, and at the end of the day, I still had a little bit of a rosy flush to my lips that normally isn't there. This is what my lips look like naturally, so it was just a little bit more amped up from what you see here, and I knew it had to be this, and I was so impressed with the formula and the fact that this actually tinted my lips, but also hydrated, gave me that glossy look. So these are absolutely divine, and I love those. But then let's not forget about the lip oils from e.l.f. These are some of my very favorite lip oils from the drugstore. There's something so luxurious and so expensive feeling from this formula, and it's what, right around $8 or so, give or take. Don't quote me exactly on that, but they're not more than $8 to $10 a piece, and they are just absolutely luxurious. I'm going to start with the Maybelline Lifter Liner in Line Leader. I think I'm going to go for the Tinted Lip Oil from Catrice because I just adore this formula. And although I didn't show you an actual lipstick, you can definitely use a lipstick. I'm not saying that you can't. A lipstick is something that you will need to touch up depending on the formula. If it's a matte longwear formula, it'll stay on a little bit longer, but you will have to touch it up. I'm looking for something that's going to stain and stay on, and then as it fades, it looks like there's something there, and I don't have to babysit it. So that's why I'm choosing these for this video and why I'm going to demo these. So let's do the lip oil on top. Oh, this feels so nice. And this color is the perfect mid-tone pink with that nice glossy look to the lips, and it feels so luxurious and so comfortable. And pretty much this is it. There are two other products that I did not demo that I want to show you. Depending on your preferences and your skin type, you may want to make the judgment call on that. So the first product is a setting spray. It's not something that's an absolute must for everyone. If you have oily skin, I would say yes, definitely seal in what you've just applied with a setting spray. The Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist from e.l.f. is actually very good. The mist is fine, it's perfection, and it does really work. You shake it up and you just do a couple spritz and it locks everything into place, takes down that powdery look if you use powder products, and everything is gonna stay exactly the way you applied it. So if you have oily skin, this is a must. For normal combo in dry skin, this is optional. The next optional product based off of your personal needs is a highlighter. I didn't demo this, but this is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is stunning. It's soft, it's ethereal, it's candlelit, it's a nice sort of polished and refined type of highlight, and it gives you a bit of glow and youthfulness without being over the top. You don't see it sitting on the skin. It's not beaming where it enters the room before you do. It's a beautiful formula, and again, it's an optional thing whether you want to, if you prefer it, if you don't, if you have time or you don't have time. You can cut out some things to streamline your process and getting ready in the morning. But because I do have time since I'm filming today, I want to show you how pretty this looks on the skin. And I like to use my Real Techniques 242 brush just to pat some of this on the high points of the cheek. And because this Essence highlighter is baked, it's not going to look powdery, it's not going to be heavy, it's going to melt in right in with anything that's already applied to the skin. It's so, so pretty. And it's almost like you don't see it, which is good. You don't want to see that it's sitting on the skin. Do you see? It's very subtle, it's there, it's glowy, it's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's it, my friends. That is my back to school makeup routine for the morning. I hope that this was helpful. I truly enjoy these products and I think that they perform well. The longevity is there. The performance of the formulas are spectacular. And that's why I shared them with you today and why I personally reach for them when I'm doing my makeup, whether it's back to school, running errands, you know, doing stuff during the week, and I want to look polished and put together without looking like I have a ton of products on without using a bunch of different things, something that can be simple, quick, and easy. These are the products that I'm going to reach for, and I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to list and link everything for you in the description box. Share with me your favorite products that help you get ready quickly in the mornings. What are your go-tos that streamlines that process? I would love to hear from you. I would love to know what your favorites are. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I post every Tuesday and every Friday. You can also follow me on Instagram. We can be friends there. My username pops up here on the screen. I hope to see you there. Take care, you guys, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.